Wie wil voor ons een voorbeeld wezen? Wie wil voor ons een voorbeeld zijn? Wij kinderen kijken, we horen en we zien de dingen in de wereld, de dingen om ons heen. Met liefdevolle begeleiding is kind zijn echt wel fijn. Wie wil voor ons een voorbeeld wezen? Wie wil voor ons een voorbeeld zijn?
Hey kids, welkom bij deze nieuwe aflevering van Kinderen kijken naar VN-ontwikkelingsprogramma. Wel, een paar weken geleden hebben jullie kennis gemaakt met enkele afdelingen van de UNDP in Suriname. En de UNDP is onderdeel van de Verenigde Naties en daar hebben ze dus heel veel over verteld. UNDP staat voor United Nations Development Program. En het UNDP zetelt voornamelijk in New York City. In Suriname zijn we ook vaak bezig hiermee. En in de vorige aflevering heeft u kennis gemaakt met 2 afdelingen. En in deze aflevering maken we nader kennis met nog 2 andere mensen. En zij verlenen ook hun werkzaamheden hier in Suriname namens de UNDP. In deze aflevering moeten jullie aandachtig luisteren, goed luisteren en natuurlijk ook kijken waarmee ze zich allemaal bezighouden. Ik wens jullie allemaal een fijne kijktijd toe. So you'll be guiding us through this section of UN Suriname.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so may we enter?
Okay, yes. I'm just trying to ensure that there is not sufficient beeping to disturb you.
No trouble with that. Okay, so we're downstairs and you are going to tell us a bit about the things you do here in the office.
Okay, well, first of all, welcome to the UN House.
Thank you.
We've been in this building now for just a little over a year. Prior to moving here, we were on Heronstraat for probably in excess of 15 years. So this is new. Officially opened on the 10th of December last year. So we're approaching our first year of official opening. However, we moved in July of last year. So this section here is the UNDP section, and as you could see, we have an open floor plan, which encourages staff members to work together in teams, as opposed to everybody being in their own offices or own cubicles. We have this open floor design, and colleagues work together. So this is the UNDP section, and this particular section you're looking at is our environment portfolio. This next section is also UNDP, and this covers our governance, gender, and sustainable development goals unit of the UNDP. We also work with interns. So we have a young intern from Japan who has joined us for
All the way from Japan.
Yes, all the way from Japan. She came in 3 weeks. This is her 3rd week with us, and that's one of the sort of services that we provide, because we also want to ensure that young citizens of the world get an opportunity to work in the international community. And whilst we may not necessarily have opportunities to employ them formally, we provide them with the background for sound professions by offering them internships.
What's your point of view and the goals reached by the UN Suriname in Suriname? You have put down many projects, you have done so many things. Are you satisfied with the goals you've reached in Suriname?
Yeah, I mean, we can always do better. We can always do better, but we have in fact made some substantive progress in Suriname. Only last year we did an interim report on the Millennium Development Goals. We now have the Sustainable Development Goals, but last year we did a progress report on the Millennium Development Goals, and Suriname was able to record a number of areas of progress, including the reduction in child mortality, increase in wage earnings in the labor force, the increase in the number of children going to school. So there are a number of things that we've done that have been successful. But like I said, yeah, we can do a lot better than we're doing currently. Yes.
Okay.
A lot better.
And
Yes,
what do we
so let me
find here in
take
the
you-
back?
So this entire section that you're looking at here is the UNICEF section, and of course I guess you know that there are a number of different UN agencies. So in Suriname we have 4 United Nations agencies that are resident in Suriname, and these would be UNDP, UNICEF, UNFPA, and PAHO, the Pan American Health Organization. So these are the 4 UN agencies that are resident in Suriname. And in this building, we have UNICEF, UNDP, and UNFPA, which I gather you would have met upstairs.
Yes.
Yes. So this private office here is the head of the UNICEF for Suriname, and this office here is the head of the UNDP. Yes.
That's quite cozy. And what can you tell us about your work here?
Well, UNDP's work here is like 95% of the UNDP's work is in the area of environment. Now that's not by design. It is not because we want to only do environment. It just happens that the funding that is available currently seem to be largely on issues of climate change, particularly climate change adaptation. A lot of issues around, the protection of Suriname's forests, because Suriname is largely a forested country, over 90% covered by forests, and the preservation that goes with the environment in Suriname is attracting a lot of funding from international sources. So our largest projects are the environment projects, and because they are so large, they cover 95% of our resources. But we also do a lot of projects in areas of governance, some amount of sustainable livelihoods, trying to ensure that particularly women are involved in employment and decent employment. We also do quite a bit of work with the Parliament of Suriname. Two projects that I would like to tell you about in the past year is one project we had with the Parliament of Suriname to try and increase the number of women in the National Assembly. So in 2010, there were 4 women. The period 2010 to 2015, there were 4 women in the National Assembly. Because of the intervention by UNDP and a number of other partners, including the Parliament of Suriname, the Dutch Embassy, and a number of NGOs, we undertook a number of initiatives to promote women in politics. And as a result, following the May 25th elections this year, we now have 15 women in parliament. So we've moved from 4 to 15. So I mean, that's one of the successes of UNDP working in Suriname with local partners. So that's one. Yes, that's something that we're very, very proud of. The second one that we're proud of is a much smaller project, but we thought was one that was very significant. And that was a project where we were approached by an NGO to do something with hearing and visually impaired citizens of Suriname when it comes to voting and elections and so on. And one of the things we recognized was that no one had really paid attention to the blind, for example. How does a blind person cast his or her vote? How does a deaf person follow the campaign on television and radio? No one had ever paid attention to that. And when we were approached, to immediately grab the opportunity, designed a small project, worked with the hearing and visually impaired community in Suriname, and we were able to provide for the very first time an opportunity for hearing and visually impaired people to participate in campaigns, to understand the material that was being presented by the political parties, and to go out there and to vote as independently as they could. Now, it didn't work out that they were able to go into the polling stations all by themselves, particularly the blind. Someone still had to vote for them.
Yes.
But they were a lot more informed and a lot more courageous with the decisions that they were making when it came to their right to vote. So these are two very recent successes of the UNDP in Suriname that we're very, very proud of.
Ye kong aksisay musabi futuro ambusani no ala delibi me bateri o futuro mi deja fuskoro you mejor pasensing na nga you firi nga samba bungi you
Minawa Gomsi,
ala de meluku sa yetu
Yakalinti, Nawa Jamanti,
no you she was malek you me baby in you. Ye pray so mohi ye pisiri nang adeng trawang te sari mi eshi mami ati no e bro mi esi no e weri yere sange dang rayu te problema de me ye più dat na sam sadu
Minawa Gomsi,
meluku sa yedu
Yakalinti, Nawa Jamanti,
no me she was malek you
Mi ay di ko po nila fu, Baby,
me baby in you
Minawa Gomsi,
ala de meluku sa yedu
Yakalinti, Nawa Jamanti,
no me she was malek you
Mi ay di ko po nila fu, Baby,
me baby in you.
So besides Miss Judith and Mr. Armstrong, we are also going to talk to Miss...
Min Yuan, I'm the UNICEF program manager in Suriname.
Okay,
Yeah.
what can you tell us about UNICEF Suriname?
UNICEF has worked in Suriname for many years. Our mandate is actually for the rights of children. So we're working with the government counterparts, NGOs, and also local communities, children themselves, on the major child rights issues, including health, nutrition, education, water and sanitation, as well as protection. So we are also working a lot with the young people, the adolescents, to help them to be able to participate into their life, or into the social development. So UNICEF has worked closely also with other UN agencies in this UN house, as you have seen. Very closely, we're working together jointly to support children development in Suriname.
Okay, what's your latest project? What's the latest project of UNICEF in Suriname?
The latest project in Suriname for UNICEF is the same as what the other UN agencies doing in the same cycle from 2012 to 2016, which were focused on, as I mentioned, the 4 child rights areas: health, education, protection, and participation. So the most recently project including to support the infant and young child feeding program to promote breastfeeding, and also including to improve the interior teachers' capacity in terms of to be able to give a friendly environment for teaching and improve their education in interior areas. We're also working with the adolescents and with the Presidential Task Force, with the support of Ministry of Social Sports and Youth, as well as we have the NGOs Project PASS. They all work together to support implementation of the integrated adolescence development framework in Suriname. So we work in 3 pilot areas, which is Mungo, Sophialas, and as well as in Guyaba. So things are moving in the field as well.
Okay, that's a lot of things you guys are doing. Okay, big projects also. How long have you been staying here in Suriname?
Oh, actually, almost 2 years. Yeah, I came in early January last year.
Okay. And what's your opinion about Suriname?
Very, very impressive. To be honest to say, I was really, I'm enjoying actually the life here in Suriname with this nice environment, particularly with a lot of green, which I love very much, and very nice people. Diverse society, so you have different people from different groups, ethnic groups, and they are really get along together very well. So I think the people are nice, and we have good colleagues, good friends. I'm enjoying very much.
Okay. And if you're planning on going back to your own country, what's the typical Surinamese thing you would like to introduce the people there?
Oh, actually, many things. I think, hardly to say, but I think the best thing I want to let my friends or my parents, they know is Suriname really has done a lot to protect the environment for all of us. This is now climate change and the global issues in terms of the change of the weathers, I think environmental challenges, which I really appreciate Suriname people are contributing global efforts in to reduce the risks. I think this nice rainforest need to be continually kept, and I hope all of us can work together to ensure that this getting better and better environment for this globe.
Ye kong tekleri, ye kong aksisay musdu, ye kong aksisay musabi, futuro ambusani no ala delibi, levateri o futuro, mi de já fuscoro you, mejor pasensi nanga you firi, nanga samba bungi you,
Minawa Profi,
ala de meluku you, meluku sa yetu,
Yakalinti, Minawa Tamanti,
no you was malek you.
Miani Mokomi Afu, Baby.
Me baby in you. Ye pray so mohi, ye prisiri nang adeng trawang, te sari mi.